Essex Outbacks meeting in August. There's only 3 of us here because most of the team have gone down to Wiltshire for wilderness gathering, so we're just having a practice around with a few things. Myself and Brian are having a go at making some natural traps. This is my go at doing the figure of 4 dead fall trap. When I first put it together, the trigger mechanism down here was far too big and wasn't sensitive enough. I could actually push this thing, push here, and the whole thing would go right the way around and not actually fall down. So I've whittled that away to it's just a hair trigger on a point now, and that seems to work okay. You can obviously put the bait on here if you're for squirrels. You put some peanut butter on for bait, and if it's a rabbit, it's got to run a gauntlet through that and then into Brian's spring snare that is set up here. The trigger mechanism is just a stake into the ground and hooked on to a small toggle, hooked toggle attached to the branch. So any pull on the noose there is going to release that, and up they go. And I've had a play around with a slightly different one, a bit more complicated. Brian's one is probably a lot easier if you're setting multiple traps, definitely a lot quicker and easier to set up. Whereas this one, we've got 2 hook stakes, and a crossbar, and then a toggle there, and a crossbar there, which is the trigger, and that's pushed up against the static stake that side. So as the rabbit comes through here, trips the stick, releases the toggle, and up it goes on the springy branch. I've put some sticks in a funnel either way, so this is intended for an existing run in a field. So you're actually forcing the rabbit to go through that choke point there, which is where you want it to go, and head through the noose. Off it goes. Quite pleased with that. It's taken a little while to get it figured out, but it does work. Let's show you them in action. Dead fall. That works alright. Brian's noose. It's alright. Do a much stronger spring, but as I say, this is just our little practice area, so we can get the mechanisms working properly first before we even attempt to try and set them in the field. There you go. So next time we're out and about, we shall set a couple of these up Friday night, and that'll give us 2 nights to see if we can actually catch anything. I'm attempting to make a semi-permanent shelter. It's not quite wide enough yet. All we've done is made up a framework on forked stakes, sloping down to the back. Got some strong boughs to take the weight, and on top of that it's a load of springy leafy material. And I've cheated a little bit. I've got an old top on top of the springy twiggy stuff under there, trying to spread the weight out, and then we're going to build this up on the top with debris and try and get a bit more earth on there as well, weight it down. As I say, this is just the start of it. I slept in it last night. Luckily it didn't rain, otherwise I would have had wet feet. I can put this a slight angled wall in effect on the front here, or come out a bit more of an angle if I'm going to continue to slick that way around, or we can follow the line of that prop in there at the moment and actually extend the side out there, so I can turn my slitting bag around, have my feet down that end, which is probably the preferable way to do it. That way I've still got the view down this way out into the fields, which is a nice sight in the morning. Yeah, we shall see. Right, here's a little tip that I found in some old Scout data sheets. It's a pot pourer. Here you've got one of these billy cans, but you normally bring a pair of gloves with you, so obviously you can hold the handle with one hand, but then what do you use to tip it up with? It's always been an issue, but if you find yourself a nice fork stick, you can have a groove in the main stem here for the handle, and then some stops cut into the end, and it's basically a case of removing the billy can from the fire, placing through, hooking up on a hook and wedging it in there, and then you can actually pick it up. It's fairly stable, and then point your cup of tea, and that's it. So there you go, multi-use tool from your hot water billy can. No problem. You even use it for putting the lid on and off. I made some improvements to my little hut. Put a windbreak shelter on the front here to extend the sleeping area. I have for my colleagues actually improvised a bed support to keep off the ground. One observation that we've made while trying to sleep on it is to have more skinny size, probably that might be a little bit, still might be a little bit too thick. You need to have lots and lots of small skinny sticks going across to give it some give. The irregularities and the wood, you get high and low points, and obviously it's more pronounced when you're trying to sleep on it. These thicker ones here are way too big. There's no giving them at all, and it's just really quite uncomfortable. So next time I'm here, I should be replacing all these thicker ones here with the lot easier to harvest skinny ones. So here we go. I did get some sleep last night, but there was a lot of tossing and turning going on just through the thicker lumps of wood down where my body is sleeping. But it was worth it. It was an interesting experiment. I also do like the fact that the cover is up and over and leaving both sides open, so I've got the protection from the wind and rain, but I can still see out both sides, which was quite nice waking up this morning like that. You obviously still got the fresh air coming through, so you still feel like you're outside. And with the debris on top of the roof, I didn't hear the rain pitter patter on me last night either. The only evidence that it was raining was the rain on the leaves outside. There wasn't any noise coming from my shelter at all, which is what I was after. Yeah, that's really good. So I'm quite pleased with that, all in all. Just packing up my last little, just had a breakfast, let the last bit of the fire go down. And we'll be making our way off home.